Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Survival Matt. Today, we're going to talk about survival items and/or hiker luxury items. In another video, I've talked about my fan that I just think is necessity to life, and then these other items. I broke them up into groups. We're going to kind of break them down and talk about them. And remember, this is a survivor's mentality with using or trying to use some hiker intelligence and wisdom. So let's talk about the first section. Today they're going to talk about, this is gadgetry or electronics, right? Like a cell phone. Urban Prepper talked a long time ago about how you can take an old cell phone and put extra storage on it, and then make sure every app you put on it, every piece of information you put on it, is 100% usable in airplane mode. So that's what you want. You want the phone in airplane mode. Once the smartphone is in airplane mode, and you've got, I don't know, a terabyte of flash drive on it, now you've got access to 10,000 books, 1,000 songs, 10 favorite video games, the survival books, everything and anything you could ever want. And the question is, what do you do when that runs out of power? So a lot of people, I talked about this in the power video. This is the RAV Power battery pack, and this is the RAV Power solar panel kit. The solar panel weighs 29 ounces, and the battery pack weighs 11.2 ounces, or at least this one does. And my fan here weighs 2.2 ounces. With this combination, this will charge my cell phone that I use regularly, my regular cell phone, not the super awesome airplane mode cell phone, the small computer we'll call it. This will charge my cell phone, I think, 7 times. The RAV Power will charge this battery pack in about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight. So as long as I get 6 hours of sunlight, it'll charge this, which will charge my cell phone 7 times. So 6 hours of sunlight, 8 hours of sunlight once every 7 days isn't a lot to ask. And that's assuming you're using that device that long, that you need to charge it that many times, once a day, really. If you don't, in airplane mode, I don't know if you've ever done this or not, but if you have this tiny computer device we're talking about in airplane mode on a low brightness, I mean, it lasts 3, 4, 5 days all by itself. Depends on how much you mess with it. And then that's 20 days. If you have 8 hours of sunlight in 20 days, you've got access to technology. And that's very, very powerful. And as far as this upcoming AT through hike, we're not doing a section hike we're doing, I'm in a lot of debate about whether or not I'm taking this. We're going to be hiking for 9 days, and I think it's worth it. I mean, you can't go without power. Now, a lot of other YouTubers, they just wait till the third day, till they get to a camp or a shelter or anywhere there's a power outlet, and they just plug it in and they hang out there for a little while their cell phones charge. I don't know if we're going to do that or not. So this might be good enough. You see a lot of YouTubers take the outlet plugs that have 2 spots so they can charge their cell phone and the battery pack at the same time. So I'm going to do some more research on whether or not I bring this. But very important as far as a prepper is concerned, prepper's mentality, this is invaluable. And I know it weighs 29 ounces and 11.2 ounces, so you're talking, 40.2 ounces altogether, which is just under 3 pounds. But for 3 pounds, you have power, and you just can't live without that. All right, next group of luxury items. I don't know if I should call it medical or just chemical. I don't know. This is Gold Bond body powder for if you're hiking 20 miles a day, or that's our goal. I mean, I think you're gonna chafe. Like, chafing's gonna happen. And maybe if you don't chafe, maybe it goes in your shoe. I mean, this has a lot of uses. But this only weighs 1.5 ounces. I got it in Walmart in the travel section. And this is Repel. This is Repel 100. It's called 100 because it's 98.11% DEET. And we learned recently that bears don't like the smell of DEET, so they kind of stay away from it. And I was hiking with Jesse, and he said, don't brush your teeth at camp. The toothpaste smell attracts bears. And oddly enough, then we were talking a little later, and he said the DEET smell actually makes bears go away. I don't know how true that is. Kind of cool information. I found 2 sizes. This is 4 fluid ounces, which actually weighs 5.8 ounces, 5.3, excuse me. And this is 1 fluid ounce, which actually weighs 2 ounces. And I don't know how much we'll actually need as far as like a 9-day hike. 3 hikers, 9 days. I think I'm going to take this one. That's why I bought it. This usually goes in our camping gear or in my bug out bag because I would want it to last longer. It's, your bug out bag is going to weigh a little more, and also I can divide the gear up among my family. That's the best part about family bugging out is like my wife this can be part of her gear or my son part of his gear, and then I don't have to carry this item. So, but for hiking, I think this is what we're going to go with. And the reason why is because I just can't stand being attacked consistently by bugs. It bothers me. It takes a lot of fun out of camping. It takes a lot of fun out of being out in the woods. Nobody enjoys being attacked by a swarm of gnats or mosquitoes. I can't even imagine. Oh my God. The History Channel has a 50-minute episode about the AT. And they talk about a certain section up there near New England where they talk about ticks. And they show like thousands and thousands of ticks in a single area at the same time. Oh, the nightmares. In that case, I would want 3 of these. Like, blah, blah. But, again, for the weight, I'm thinking of taking these 2 items on the AT trail. And then this item goes in the bug out kit. Okay? Next section we're going to talk about is food, or the kitchen section for the AT or bugging out or getting home. This is Montreal steak rub or Grill Masters rub, and it weighs 6 ounces in this little plastic container, which once you ran out you could catch water and stuff with it too. But it's a little plastic container and it weighs 6 ounces, and in this we used it on the last AT trip, and I barely used a quarter of it, and that was over 3 days. So 8 days, 9 days on the trail, 3 hikers. This is going to help us change the flavors of a lot of meals. The next thing we're going to talk about is this GSI salt and pepper shakers, although I do salt and Tony's spicy seasoning stuff. This weighs 1.1 ounces empty and 2 ounces full. For 2 ounces of weight, you can change the flavor of your meals and or make them taste better, increase your salt content, all that stuff, or spice it up and add a little love to your food. I mean, I'm a foodie when I'm at home and I'm not out on the trail or camping, and I enjoy my food. I want my food to taste good. In a future video, stay tuned, we're looking up recipes for the trail. Like, Jesse just found out how to make chicken Alfredo on the trail. Think about that now. For any of you hikers watching this video, you've been on the trail. It's a 5-day hike till you get to the next restock, and one of your fellow campers whips out some chicken Alfredo. Real chicken, real Alfredo. Think about that. That's coming. If your mouth isn't watering right now, there's something wrong with you. Or you just don't like chicken Alfredo, which is okay. But for everyone else, yeah. Alright. Anyways, got off track. Salt and pepper. Invaluable. Fits in my titanium cook kit, which I think I've reviewed. If I haven't, I'll have a video of it very soon. But I've got my Pocket Rocket stove, fuel canister, cleaning sponge, cleaning scraper thingamabobber, the 2 titanium pots, and a spork, and the salt and the Tony's, and it all fits inside of its little nicely neat little container. Just, you can't do without it. Alright, next luxury item from the kitchen. So Dixie talked about this in her videos, which I think is called Homeward Wanderlust, and she has a really good channel about hiking about the AT. Right now, I think she's doing the PCT. And this was the only item. Hers was green and black, but this little collapsible rubber cup. This was the only item that they said that she had as a luxury item. And she had coffee in this every morning, about 2 cups. And it weighs a powerful 2.3 ounces. I know, so much weight. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought this was a good idea. Okay? Why is it a good idea? Well, one, it is, a lot of people will carry a cut up water bottle or a orange juice container cut in half over their cooking kit, and it helps them gather water. Well, this helps them gather water. Gather dirty water and put it into my dirty water platypus, which filters into my clean water platypus. This lets me have my morning coffee or morning tea or morning Earl Grey. This lets me have a cup of water or a cup to, we're hiking and you come up to our campsite and we've got more food than we know what to do with tonight because we've got our eyes are a little bit bigger than our stomachs for some reason, and I can whip out a little bit of trail magic and put a bunch of food in this and hand it to you and let you enjoy a warm meal as a fellow hiker out of this little container. I couldn't normally do that unless I had another dish or another thing, or maybe you didn't have any dishes because you're doing one of those cold hikes. That's where they don't cook or anything. Everything they eat is like in a bar or something weird. I don't know. Not my style. I don't know. For 2.3 ounces, how can you not, right? All right, last category is survival items. Now, this is my Mora carbon steel. No, carbon something. It's carbon steel. Blah, blah, blah. Weighs 5 ounces. And this is the Gomboy Silky Saw Gomboy. This is 9.7 ounces. I don't understand how hikers doing something dangerous or people going into the woods where, that's where the accidents happen, people. The accidents that are going to happen when you're alone or you and a buddy and you're in the woods and there's no cell phone signal and town is 20 miles away or a 2-day hike or 3-day hike away. That's when you get hurt. That's when you need your survival equipment. And all these hikers and stuff, like the ultralight people that are trying to be under 25 pounds, and they take the little Gerber knife. I guess I understand, especially the AT. The AT's very well tracked, and if you got hurt, it's not likely you'd be left alone for very long, especially because of how many people hike through the AT trail. But that's not really the point, or that's not where I don't think it matters. I think that a Gomboy or an axe and the Mora are just 2 items that I'm not going into the woods, even on a day hike, without these 2 items on me. I just won't do it. There's no point. My prepper mentality, my survival mentality, will not let me go out into the woods without these 2 items on me. I've got a neon orange lanyard and a neon orange Mora because when things hit the ground, they're really hard to see, and the neon orange helps. It doesn't hurt that it's one of my favorite colors, so that also is awesome. But Jesse's taking an axe, so I agreed to take the Gomboy. We're both going to have our Mora on each other. My son's going to have his Mora on him. This will help us start fires if we want to in designated areas, and it will help us survive if things get weird and you slip and fall down one of these rocky terrains and things suck and your leg snaps in half, or some other crazy stuff like one of those movies where the guy gets his arm trapped under a rock for 128 days. I think that's the name of the movie. Haven't watched it yet. Told it was a good movie. Kind of don't want to watch it. It'll freak me out before the hike, but that's just because I'm that survivor mentality. The guy makes it. I'm told he's still alive today and all that. Spoiler, sorry. I don't know. I haven't even watched it yet. Somebody spoiled it for me. I spoiled it for you. Sorry. My bad. But yeah, these are my luxury items. These are for survival. These are for the kitchen. These are because Mother Nature's wild. Oops. Mother Nature. The fan required in my life to go to sleep. I sleep with a fan every night of my life, and I will until the day I die. And this, we're debating on this. This is the only debate. I could just turn my cell phone off and be happy if I didn't need it for a map or music. But that's it for next time. These are my luxury items. I hope it helps provide some information, some insights. I'd love to know what your luxury items are, if you have any. And this goes for hikers, day hikers, section hikers, AT hikers, PCT hikers. I don't care. If you're hiking and you're backpacking anywhere in the world, I'd like to know what you consider a luxury item. What are some of the things you just can't leave home without? I'm curious how many of you would like to take a fan with you. It's just one of those things you need in life. I don't know. I don't see how people do it. It's so powerful. It's so needed. But that's it for next time. Until next time, thank you. See ya.